The Apple Vision Pro launched on February 2nd, and reviews from major channels are already popping up. Check back soon as there'll be a link in the description for those interested. For those out of the loop, I've ventured considerably into this world. I used the Meta 2 for a while and eventually moved to Meta Quest 3. I've tested a bit of everything. So I'm a VR fan, but I see everyone getting excited about the Vision Pro launch by Apple, and honestly, for reasons I'll discuss in this video, I'm still thinking whether to buy it or wait for version 2. At the end of this video, tell me if money wasn't an issue, would you buy it? Speaking of good things, Apple entering this market is interesting. They came in saying, let's do what we believe to be the basics. They want to focus on augmented reality and are developing with that in mind. Different from the initial goal, which started with accessible but limited assets. Then Apple steps in with all its might and this new technology, bringing terms like spatial computing into play. The Vision OS system is their game changer, keeping in mind the future of augmented reality. Hand gestures are a high point, focused on AE. If they can reduce the glass's size, these gestures could be the future. And see, the Apple Watch is already riding the wave of gestures. Will we combine the two in the future? And there's more. Apple is introducing cool technologies, like validation by looking, much more practical than typing in passwords. I hope this becomes the standard for these gadgets. And this amazing accomplishment is possible because they paid great attention to the sensors and added an M2 processor, in addition to, of course, an extra processor for spatial computing that will transform external visuals into a sort of augmented reality. In my opinion, what sets this apart is the mix of sensors and processing that could put Apple ahead in the future. What really stands out in this model is its build quality, which is a notch above the rest. And let's not even start on the screen, which according to The Verge is top-notch. From what they say, the field of view doesn't quite match up with MetaQuest, but the resolution and especially the pass-through are far superior. For those who are unfamiliar, pass-through is when the cameras capture what's happening outside and feed it into the glasses, giving you an augmented reality feel. You kind of see the outside world through the cameras. By the looks of it, Vision Pro did well here, showing that you can create something quite impressive, even if it's not 100% perfect. In the case of the Meta Quest 2, it started with a somewhat decent pass-through in black and white, and it's been getting better, but it still leaves a lot to be desired. With the Quest 3, you can now check the time on your cell phone. You can get a feel of the surroundings, but reading a message on your phone is too much to ask. There are still some irritating distortions. Apple's, however, seems to have hit the mark, even allowing you to interact with your cell phone on a second screen. Weird, right? It's like screen within a screen, and that's quite cool. But here comes the hitch. To afford this camera system and the upscale design, the price has shot through the roof. $3,500 for the basic model, which is around 35,000 reais here in Brazil by Apple's exchange rate. On top of that, it's heavier, weighing at 650 grams versus Quest 3's 515 grams. And the weight is all at the front because there's nothing at the back to counterbalance it. But there's one more detail. It doesn't have an internal battery. It must always be connected to a power bank, which weighs an additional 353 grams and only lasts about 2 to 3 hours. And the power bank has about 3,000 milliamp hours and uses an Apple exclusive connector. Like any average brand from China, they make a more compact power bank. And let's face it, a USB-C might not be as pretty, but it would make life easier. I myself, on the Quest 3, am constantly plugging it into the outlet with whatever cable I can find. So why make it complex with a bunch of specific cables? One in your pocket, another on your glasses. I thought that was pretty tangled. And on top of that, you have to rely on Apple's cable, which costs a fortune and you can't replace it when it's crunch time. Apple aimed high, but some choices leave me wondering. By the way, the ease of connection remains a high point. If you're already used to connecting gadgets via Bluetooth, you'll find it easy to do the same with the Vision Pro, especially if you're using it with your MacBook or other Apple devices you already own. Everything that's already linked to your Apple login will sync quickly, without the need to pair again. But what if you want to connect with other devices? That's where the fun begins. I, for example, have already connected the Quest 3 to a PC to play Windows games in VR, like Cyberpunk, and I use it for work. But with the Vision Pro, it's kind of stuck in the Apple world. And here we have a problem. Neither Netflix nor YouTube are available as apps. And the web version isn't all that great in VR. And why is that? Well, Apple has a very strict billing policy for the App Store. and many companies don't want to deal with it. Also, considering that the Vision Pro's initial sales might not be huge, it becomes less appealing for developers to venture into this platform without a little push from Apple. Meta's Quest line, for instance, has millions of users, which attracts developers. And guess what? The Vision Pro doesn't even have games yet. It's mainly for work, but I believe cool things will start appearing soon. But how about for an independent developer? Buy expensive equipment just to test. And who knows how to create a game? The high price is a hindrance. And a small user base doesn't help either. Maybe this will change when a more affordable version is launched. Here comes the question. Why would I want a device just to sit around and work? We usually don't spare that much time for such things. The change from MetaQuest 2 to 3, for instance, was great for reading. On a recent trip, I preferred to watch Netflix on my Quest rather than using the hotel's TV. Still, I don't see myself upgrading to the Vision Pro, mainly because what I really enjoy is gaming. And in that, the Quest 3 delivers almost everything that the Vision Pro promises for a fraction of the price. So for me, the Vision Pro isn't worth it yet. I'm curious to see how things progress. Maybe test the Vision Pro and definitely buy one. The question is, the first version or the second? Got ideas, questions, or thoughts? Leave them in the comments. I'd love to chat about the topic of the video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it, and subscribe to stay in the know. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Goodbye.